Hello, everybody, or I will certainly say, hey, y'all. I am from North Carolina, so all is certainly a part of my vocabulary, and it is not going anywhere. So my name is Clarence Clayton. I'm a senior manager of data privacy at RedHat. Thank you all for being here today. I'm excited to be here with you, and thanks to anyone who's watching online as well. We're here for a few moments just to talk to you and share with you that regardless of your background, your major, or if you didn't even go to college, there is a place for you in technology. So look forward to speaking with you about that a little bit more. And I invite my friend and my co-host to introduce herself to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I am Koren Townsend. I am a senior project manager at RedHat in the marketing department, and we are here to just share a little bit about our journeys, but then also just about careers at RedHat as well.
So Koren and I do bring greetings from RedHat, but we would be remiss if we did not at least briefly talk about the BUILD community, which stands for Blacks United in Leadership and Diversity. It is one of RedHat's diversity and inclusion communities, or ERG groups, as some people know them. And what we do is foster a connected community of Black Red Hatters and allies, and do a lot of work to make sure that the causes that are important to Black associates are known, are talked about, and that we get focus on those with our senior leaders and people all throughout the company. So, Koren, just tell us a little bit more about, how BUILD does what we do and how we show up and make ourselves successful.
Yeah, we do a lot. That is an understatement. We do a lot as far as BUILD is concerned. Our focus, as you can see on the slides, is that we focus on education and membership development. We want to make sure that our Black associates feel connected and being educated. We've brought in external speakers from career development to, hey, should we take the vaccine? I mean, it's been a wide spectrum of topics that we bring into the company. But also community outreach. This is one thing very unique about Raleigh, is that there are a lot of opportunities to reach back and do things with local community centers, with underprivileged youth. The soup kitchen and the homeless shelters, we've also volunteered at. So it's not just about doing what's inside the walls of RedHat, but actually going outside the walls of RedHat to do more for our own communities. And then campus and university outreach, we really focus on connecting with HBCUs, which is historically Black colleges and universities. We have 5 here in the Triangle, in the area: Shaw University, St. Augustine University, and North Carolina A&T State University, North Carolina Central, and then we've also reached out to Winston-Salem State as well. So we try to really do connect to the students who are going to be getting these internships and coming into RedHat as well. And then it's not all about fun and games. I mean, it's not all about just business. We do a lot of fun and games. We try to stay connected. Over the pandemic, I know everybody's been at home and Zoom fatigued out. But one thing that we have really started up was a happy hour that we do once a week, that it keeps us all engaged. We talk about everything from, hey, what do best restaurants to go to social issues, political issues. We've been online hours just connecting and staying engaged. So it's been a great opportunity for us to stay connected as a community. Next slide.
And I forgot to mention that we are founding members of the BUILD community and on the leadership team. So I'm honored to serve as the chair. Koren is the vice chair. But it takes a village. There's a ton of people behind us that do power the engine that is the BUILD community, and we're thankful for all of them.
All right. So, who likes to play games? Show of hands. Who's competitive when you're playing those games? Yeah, me too. I am. So we're gonna play a little game. It's called Guess the College Major. So some of us coming into RedHat, any technical careers, might have had a different story early on in our careers than what we're doing today. So we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna show you a couple people, their backgrounds, and you kind of can guess what their college majors were. Next. So hey, this is me. Yes, as I said, I am a senior project manager in marketing. So you can call out, show of hands, who thinks that I was a business admin major coming out of school? Couple hands. What about pre-med? A little bit more about mathematics. That's about the same. Yes. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I was a math major coming out of school. And for some of you, I'm pretty sure you can relate. Coming into my freshman year in college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. All I knew was like, I like math and I was kind of good at it. So I came in, I talked to my advisor and some of my professors, and they said, hey, you're really good at math. Maybe you should be a math major. And I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Somebody going to pay me to do derivatives and integrals? I didn't see the connection. They said, well, what else do you like? And I said, well, I like computer science. I like programming. I said, take classes in computer science. So sophomore year, I took C++. Who else took C++ in here? Anybody? Yeah. I took C++ my sophomore year, and I was hooked at that point. And then from then on, I went on and graduated my undergrad, and I went on to grad school. I got a degree in mathematics with a computer science programming background, a minor. And graduated, and then all of a sudden I got a job being a quality assurance engineer, which was great for me because I was like, wow, so I get to poke holes at other people's code and break it and make them cry and get paid for it. Sign me up, I'm there. And so went and had a full, last 20 years I've been doing quality assurance and development work up until this past May, when I actually got an opportunity to dive a little bit more into project management and helping other people kind of enable them to do dev and coding and marketing work. And so I found something else I love. And this was not planned by far. I thought I'd be retiring as a QA engineer, but life had a different plan for me, and I love it. I love enabling other people to help them do their jobs and moving projects along. So that's how I came from math to PM.
All right, so my turn. So I mentioned in the intro, I'm a senior manager of data privacy. So these are my choices, and we'll run through them really quickly. Who thinks I was an accounting major in college? Okay, a couple of people. Criminal justice. It seems like a few more. Chemical engineering. Wow, a lot of those. Okay. Hate to disappoint y'all. I was an accounting major. I do not like science as a subject. I appreciate science, so it was certainly not chemical engineering for me. And I only wanted to do 4 years of school. So accounting was my major in undergrad. And my story is that, like Koren, I always like numbers and still like numbers. And I've always been really good at math and working with them. And so people said, you should major in something that involves working with numbers. And really the choices were between accounting and math. But maybe due to just, part of what we're talking about today, I chose not to go into math because I said, well, I don't really want to be a teacher, and not really thinking there are probably tons of other career opportunities that would have been available to me. So I went with accounting, and I did, and it was pretty good for me, but most students that do well in accounting are expected to go into public accounting, so working for one of the big 4 firms, and I really didn't want to do that. So by the time I was about to graduate, I didn't really know what I was going to do with this degree that I had. And I had a job offer at DuPont in Delaware, and I really didn't want to move to Delaware. No offense to people from Delaware or anything about the state, it's lovely. So I just said, that's not really what I want to do. And so a friend of mine who was going to work at IBM in engineering sent my resume to a recruiter. And next thing you know, they reached out to me and I was offered a job in accounting. By the time I started, I was actually in the accounting information systems group. So I really wasn't doing accounting. It was like accounting adjacent, and a little frustrated because I didn't feel really prepared based on my experience in the degree that I obtained. But I stuck with it and figured it out, and then was on my way to careers as a business analyst, later a project manager, and then during my time at RedHat, have sort of diversified my experience even more to now be leading a team of privacy specialists and experts that keep us compliant with privacy laws all over the world. So that is certainly not something I could have ever envisioned I would be doing 20 years ago when I started my career, but it's a testament to the fact that it's really not where you start or what your degree is, but just being open to the opportunities and the learning and just seeing where your career can go. So we have a couple of other quick stories that were shared with us by some of our colleagues, and we'll run through these a little quickly. So Cliff is a manager in tech support. And the choices we have there on the screen, or maybe y'all can't see them, I don't know. Oh yeah, they are. Mechanical engineering, biology, and art history. We won't do the show of hands for this one. I'll sort of cut to the chase. Cliff was a biology major in undergrad, which is very interesting to me. But what Cliff shared was that he was in a program in high school that was meant to bring more diversity and more doctors into the profession, more Black doctors into the profession. And so he just continued with that and majored in biology in college, but he always had a love and an affinity for technology, had a part-time job while he was in college doing support work. And his uncle was a COBOL programmer, and he always spent a lot of time around him and was inspired by him. So even after he got his degree, he just felt like tech was his true calling, his passion. And so he pursued that and has gone on to have a very successful career in the support organization. The other thing that Cliff shared with me is because of his experience and what he went through, that he often looks for people from non-traditional backgrounds. So he's told me he hired someone with a pharmacy background. He told me he hired somebody who, went to law school and just decided that it wasn't for them, and that they've gone on to have very successful careers in the support organization as well. So they're just, more data points of what it is that we're saying here, that the major is just one thing, but there's just so much more to the story.
So one more story, Milty. She is a software maintenance engineer. From those three, classical language, biomedical engineering, and anthropology, very different than what she's doing now, and I'll let Clarence go to the next slide. But she was actually a major in classical languages. Not only classical languages, she had a minor in Russian. So far from being a support engineer, but her journey is very interesting because one of the few that I've ever heard so vastly different. She had an undergrad in classical language and minor in Russian from Vanderbilt University. She actually applied to go to the Juilliard School, which is a very predominant performing arts school in New York City. Didn't get in, so then she went to Plan B, made some connections at Jackson State University, started working in their computer science department. And then loved it so much, decided to get her master's degree in computer science. And then from then it's history. And just the fact that she actually is very much still a part of the music and theater. She still loves that, but she's had a really great career as an engineer at RedHat. And I think that's probably one of the most vastly different extremes of going from non-tech to technical degrees. But yeah, she's just one of the many stories we have. So yes, RedHat is hiring all kinds of roles, diverse applicants. They're looking for, one thing just a caveat is that Clarence and I are not HR professionals. We are not a part of the HR community. We are here in a capacity to increase diversity and show that RedHat is diverse, and they are trying. The next slide will kind of show you a couple of just a word cloud of all the different job roles. And we guys got these off of the online site this week of non-technical roles. So, we have lawyers, we have graphic designers, facilities, operations. There's a lot of diversity in the types of roles. It's not just about engineering. We do need engineers because that's what makes the company, work. But there are a lot of other roles that are non-technical. So.
Yeah. Totally agree. And Koren and I were talking about this like earlier this week, but it's just common knowledge. Yes, the engineers are essential to our success. They are using their creativity, their brilliant minds, and their innovation to create the products that keep us viable and successful, and thinking about the challenges that businesses are facing that they may not even realize they're facing, and coming up with the solutions for that. So we have to have our engineers. So I'm so thankful for everybody in those disciplines. But you have to have salespeople to sell those ideas and solutions to companies. You have to have marketing people to come up with brand ideas and campaigns that are going to resonate with people. And yes, you're going to have people to count the money. You have to have people to make sure that we keep our policies up to date and that we're following global, guidelines and regulations, that the systems that those people need to be successful are operational. So their roles for everybody in the organization, and it is not just limited to people with engineering or computer science backgrounds. One thing that I wanted to say a few minutes ago, earlier in my career, I dealt with a case of imposter syndrome. I still deal with it in other ways, but I would be in meetings with people that were developers or people with computer science or engineering backgrounds, and sometimes I would say, am I worthy of having this conversation with them? Are they going to, drop some technical knowledge or technical jargon on me that's just going to make me seem inadequate or ill-prepared to be a part of this discussion? And 20 years into my career, I've just sort of learned everybody has different skills that are needed to make the project and make the organization successful. So yes, please bring your technical knowledge to the table, and I will bring, my skills and organizational methods and ways to collaborate and bring people in to make us successful, and that we're together being our best selves and powering Red Hat or any company's success based on the skills that we bring to the table. So as we transition to the close, I want one thing to be clear. Your degree, or frankly, even the lack of one, does not define your career options or path. I have found that, the course or the road of my career has certainly not been linear. It has been long and winding and took twists and turns that I never would have anticipated. And the other thing, these soft skills, whether you're a classical languages major, a math major, biology, chemical engineering, accounting, you still need the ability to communicate. You still need the ability to present. You still need the ability to work with others. And so there's certain skills that are just transferable across any degree, any discipline. And you've got to have those no matter what if you're going to make it. Developers have to make presentations. People in accounting make presentations. So you can pick that up anywhere, and it's going to be essential to your success. So, Koren, I'll turn this one over to you.
I mean, like Clarence was mentioning, technical or non-technical, your career is really about what you make it. As you said, is kind of your career kind of zigzag. Yeah, I never thought I'd end up in project management from where I started, but step into the role, you take it, take the advantage of the opportunities and just see where it goes. There's a lot of less technical roles at Red Hat as well. It's not just about engineering, as we mentioned. It's about understanding that there's a place for everyone. It's not just about diversity in the people, but about diversity of thought as well. And that's what I think really makes Red Hat really unique in that case. And yes, Red Hat is hiring. We go to the next slide. At jobs.redhat.com, check it out. All the roles that we share with you, all of them were taken from the website this week. So take a look if you're interested, and I think there's a place for everyone. And of course, we're on LinkedIn, Connect. We are happy to, get you connected and network and understanding the value in networking completely. But we're here to connect and talk more. So any final words?
That's it. Thank you for having us, and enjoy the rest of your conference.
Thanks.
Thank you.